Welcome in to the Hoop Central podcast here on Blogger. I'm Hamilton Neal, alongside Andrew Neal and Ellington Neal. We have a show tonight where we'll be talking basketball recruiting. We've had some big commitments. We'll also be talking about the NBA G League, some big stuff going on there with prospects like Jalen Green and Isaiah Todd. We'll also be talking about the 2020 WNBA Draft that is going to be held tonight, but in a different way than it has been before. It's going to be held virtually, obviously with the coronavirus pandemic going on. We can't have any in-person stuff going on. So we'll talk about the draft a little bit as well. So we'll have some good stuff to talk about here in this show. And we'll start by talking about some recruiting. The Pac-12 has had some big commitments come in for two of their schools. 2025 star shooting guard Josh Christopher has committed to Arizona State, and 2025 star small forward Zaire Williams has committed to Stanford. Two big pickups for those schools, especially Arizona State. That's really huge.
Yeah, and Christopher's the most high ranked,
Highest ranked ever.
highest ranked commitment for the school, and he's going to be really good there. He's obviously the prize piece to their class. Marcus Bagley is an underrated player that's also in that class, and Zaire Williams is going to be huge for Stanford. They don't usually get five-star players like him, and I think he's going to be a difference maker for their team.
But yeah, I think you're going to see both guys next season making big impacts for their team. Rich with Arizona State right now is they have Christopher coming in, Bagley, some of the newcomers, going to make a very big impact. They have guys returning as well. They're going to be very deep. I expect Christopher to make an impact right away as a shooting guard. I don't think there's any better in the 2020 class in terms of the athleticism. Obviously, Jalen Green as a complete package. Uh, you go with him at that position. But as far as the athleticism, there may not be a more athletic player in this class than Josh Christopher. The way he can get up and down the floor, he slashes, attacks the rim with reckless abandon, and his jump shot is one of the best as well. So very complete prospect and a guy that I think is going to make a huge impact there. And then with Stanford, we talked about this already. Zaire Williams coming in, it's a game changer for them. They haven't had as much recruiting success even as Arizona State. So this is huge for them to have a consensus five-star prospect coming in. And according to 247 Sports, he's the number one small forward in this class. So 6'7", the way he shoots the three, his first step so quick. He's just a complete prospect as well. So you look at those two guys going to be making big impact in the Pac-12. I'm excited to see those teams match up because I think they're on the rise programs that can get NCAA tournament bids next year. So Josh Christopher to Arizona State, Zaire Williams to Stanford. And again, the Pac-12 going to be very exciting to see what those two players can do. Now we're going to talk about the NBA G League. Big news has come out over the last couple of days with a new Los Angeles-based developmental team that will feature 2025 stars Jalen Green and Isaiah Todd. Both will bypass college and will be playing on this developmental team. Green said if he would have went to college and if we would have went that route, he would have chosen Memphis. Todd was committed to Michigan, but just recently decommitted, and that just had everybody talking about, is he going overseas? What path is he going to choose? Both will be playing in the G League. Jalen Green's deal is reported to be 1 year, 500,000. Greg Brown, Musa Cisse, other top prospects in high school are being contacted by the G League. A reported deal for Greg Brown could be north of 400,000.
Yeah.
Obviously, all these are going to be 1 year and can take the place of college and then get ready for the draft.
It's a whole new thing, and college won't be an option for these guys anymore.
And I think it's a better route because these players, they've been going to college because they've had to. Now, with this coming out, they'll be able to develop and get ready for the draft.
Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be exciting to see what these guys can do. This is just a whole new world of possibility. When we've talked about college and the corruption that's been inside college basketball for a long time, we wanted to see something like this happen, and the NBA stepped in. They've done a good job, and this is the best the NCAA could have hoped for. They want to get all of the dirty foul play out of college basketball recruiting, and with the G League now as an option for these players, it's just going to be a win-win for the NCAA. It's great for the NBA because they want to get these guys in to their whole thing as soon as possible.
Big for
And
the
they're doing it
NCAA
quicker.
because there won't be a corruption anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. This has been the biggest thing over the last couple of years is trying to pinpoint um, where all the foul play was at and how it can be stopped. And now it's going to be stopped with the G League as an option. Back to Greg Brown, who is a 2025 star prospect, talked about Texas as a big possibility, saying if Shaka Smart retains his job, which he has retained his job, that he would most likely commit there. But then there's this money factor out there. This is just such a win-win for prospects because you get that development for the NBA. You get it within the league with the this is the developmental league, the G League here, obviously, and you get to play with some other veterans against other guys, and you're making money at the same time. I mean, Jalen Green is going to be making 500,000 coming up here, so it's going to be interesting to see how everything develops in the G League, and again, Jalen Green and Isaiah Todd are already on board for that, and possibly more prospects will be as well. And our final thing in recruiting uh, tonight is with Jaden Hardy. He's a 2021 five-star point guard, and he's announced his top 12 schools, and those are Kentucky, Oregon, Arizona, UCLA, Kansas, Michigan, Illinois, Georgetown, Texas Tech, Arizona State, Georgia, and Memphis.
That's a pretty good list, right? A pretty good list with the schools there. A lot of big schools. We'll see where he goes. He's a top prospect.
Yeah, he's one of the best point guards in this 2021 class. He's a very good shooter. He's athletic. He just has that complete package. And we talked about the it factor with so many prospects. Hardy has that as a point guard. And just his intangibles, his IQ, all of it's off the charts. And you have tons of blue blood schools on here, Allenton. You got Kentucky, you got Memphis, you got Kansas, Arizona, UCLA, etc. Very impressive list.
Yeah, you have a lot of schools he could go with. Some of those are more wild card schools, ones that probably won't be considered as much, probably like Texas Tech, Georgia.
Yeah.
But I think the schools that are really in contention here will be Kentucky, Oregon, along with UCLA, Arizona, and Kansas. I see those schools being the main ones here.
Yeah,
He's from Nevada, right?
he is. Yeah, yeah.
So we'll see. It could be a West Coast school.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a little bit more of a toss-up with him, but I still think Kentucky is going to be the school they've already offered.
Or he could go the pro route. I mean,
Yeah,
you never know.
I
But
mean,
he may go to college. We'll just have to wait.
I mean, the G League's going to be all over these prospects and recruiting them as well. So that's going to be on the short list, I think, for a lot of players. I mean, we don't know exactly everybody that they're contacting right now, but we're hearing top prospects in high school, and all the guys in 2020 pretty much are committed to colleges. 2021 is really where the G League will be able to recruit even more because it's the rule to go straight from high school still isn't going to be opened up by 2021. So, yeah, it's going to be out there. If he goes to college, I think it's Kentucky. If he doesn't, I think it's the G League route. Most guys would go overseas because of six-figure salaries. Now you look at the G League; their max was 125,000. Their max pay. Now they've just upped it to 500,000 for Jalen Green, and for other top prospects, it can be in that neighborhood. So they've upped the money, and we know that the money is going to be a huge factor for all of these prospects. So, again, Jaden Hardy, that's his top 12 schools. He's a 2021 five-star point guard. So that's some of the recruiting stuff that we've seen coming in over the last week. The other big thing going on right now is the 2020 WNBA Draft. It's going to be held tonight, and it's going to be held virtually, with players and teams taking part remotely. Again, this is a three-round draft and 12 picks per draft with the 12 teams in the league. The one that's getting the most buzz right now is the New York Liberty. They just made a blockbuster trade
What?
to send Tina Charles to Washington.
Oh yeah.
We saw that coming a few
Were
days
they
ago.
originally gonna be number one pick anyway, right?
Yeah, they did win the lottery. But with that trade, sending Tina Charles to the Washington Mystics, they get another first-round pick, and that's at number 7 overall. So they have two first-rounders. Dallas has picks number 2, 5, and 9, all in round 1.
It's time for a rebuild there, and
Yeah.
they're gonna get first rounders, so that's pretty good.
Those are the two teams in the league that need a rebuild.
Those are the two worst teams,
Yeah.
probably recently. So
Yeah, I'm excited to see.
we know who's number one.
Yeah, that's the thing we know
Who's
already.
gonna be number one pick?
Yeah, Sabrina Ionescu of Oregon is going to be the number 1 pick. It's a foregone conclusion at this point. Again, the thing I'm interested to see, the two things I'm looking at is who New York takes at 7 with their other pick. There were some rumblings out there that Ruthie Hebert teammate of Sabrina Eskew at Oregon, could be available at 7. I don't think it's going to happen. I think she probably goes 4 through 6. Dallas, I'm most excited to see what they do. Reason why is because they have 3 first-round picks. Expected to take Satutu Sabali at number 2 overall
Wow.
from Oregon, and that's the thing about Oregon. You get 3 first-round picks, and all of them should be in the top 6 or 7. So Oregon definitely is making the most headlines with this draft, and
Not UConn right
yeah.
anymore, or at least right now.
Now, with that
Oregon.
said, UConn still will have 2 first-round picks. Megan
Yeah.
Walker should go in the top 5, I would think, and there's Crystal Dangerfield could go in the back half of the first round. So UConn, maybe not make as many headlines, but they're still gonna have a lot of players. And the round 1 order is New York, Dallas, Indiana, Atlanta, Dallas, Minnesota, New York, Chicago, Dallas, Phoenix, Seattle, and New York actually gets the 12th pick as well. I just so they have number 12 as well in round 1. So you go down rounds 2 and 3. Not as many of those players will be making rosters, but we're really looking at round 1, and just made the back page of the New York Post today that Sabrina Eskew is going to be drafted by New York.
Yeah.
It's going to bring some excitement to women's
Get them
basketball.
out, yeah, especially to that team who's kind of rebranding and trying to rebuild.
And the thing about round 1, those teams, Dallas and New York, take up half of the picks in the first round. So yeah, those two need to rebuild badly.
Yeah, and again, all of this being remote and virtual, it's going to have a different feel to it than it's had before. But still, it's the draft. You're going to have the players selected. Now, obviously, with COVID-19 just taking the world by storm right now, we're not going to have games coming up. The regular season's already been delayed. Um, the team camps and stuff have already been delayed. So we're just going to have to sit and wait and see how things progress. This is something out of everyone's control. We don't know when we're going to have sports again, but when we do return to action, basketball is going to be pretty exciting, and especially in the WNBA with Sabrina Eskew in New York, we're going to have again Washington just got Tina Charles. They could repeat now with that move. So things are getting pretty exciting with the WNBA, especially with Sabrina Eskew entering in, who looks to be one of the best players right away. And you don't see that with all number 1 picks. And there hasn't been this much hype with a women's player. We haven't seen anything at this level since Brianna Stewart, and I think it even tops the hype that she had coming into the league. This is unprecedented, and this is great for women's basketball right now.
It's hard to say if it tops. I'm not. I mean, it's very close, but
Pretty high.
yeah, we usually don't see this.
Again, the 2020 WNBA Draft is going to be held tonight, 7 Eastern on ESPN. It's going to be broadcasted there, and again, very, very exciting. We'll have on our next show all the draft results. We'll be breaking everything down there. Also, on our next show, we'll be talking about college basketball. Some transfer stuff has come in, a lot of it, and it's a men's basketball and it's a women's basketball. There's a lot of stuff there. Today on this show, we did want to focus on recruiting, everything going on with the G League. Jalen Green, Isaiah Todd already entered in, and also the WNBA draft. Again, just hours away right now. Again, that's going to be held at 7 p.m. Eastern tonight on ESPN. So this has been our first episode of the Hoops Ninja podcast on Blogger, and we'll have another show coming up soon. Benjamin Neal, I'm Hamilton Neal. We'll see you next time.